Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video. We're doing JMA Friday for today's first video. So as always on a Friday, we're having a look at the weather for the month ahead with Japanese and southwesterly models, and I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just so it coming up later on today, we're going to have the 10 to 14 day a video update which will include all our break features, and then we'll be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight. We'll have our Friday night live stream. We'll be live streaming the GFS 18Z, aka the pub run, and that should be with you after 10 o'clock tonight. The ECMWF 42-day forecast is going to be tomorrow morning. I think that's working out quite well on Saturday morning, so that'll be the first video up tomorrow. Right, let's go with JMA Friday, man. So we're going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts from the North Pole view down. So, of course, this is the North Pole of the Northern Hemisphere, in the Arctic Circle just here. We've got the wider Arctic around there, and then we've got the mid-latitudes around here. So 500 millibars, of course, is now in actually high pressure, low pressure. I've been moved around by the jet stream. Blue extrapolates to low pressure. Yellow, orange, and red extrapolates to high pressure. These charts are break down to weekly periods. The first week period will take us from today, the 12th, through to the 19th of February. The coming week will see above average heights, high pressure sitting over and to the east of the country, with below average heights, low pressure in the Atlantic. With low pressure will eventually be moving in and turning wind round to the south over the weekend. It will start to become less cold after, of course, a very mild start. Week 2 looks like this. It's the 19th to 26th of February. Blocking goes on. Above average heights, high pressure sitting over and to the north of the country, pulling in these east to northeasterly winds. So potentially that looks cold again as we go into the last full week of February. We turn the wind back from like those milder southerlies back to easterlies. So yeah, I mean that could be properly cold again. Winds coming in from the east and from the northeast. And then go through to weeks 3 and 4, takes us from the 26th of February to the 12th of March. We get above average heights going up towards Greenland, with below average heights sinking down through northern Europe. Winds go into the north as well. So staying cold really into March with the JMA model, if this is right. So again, high pressure centres around Greenland, trough of low pressure through Scandinavia. Probably losing the easterlies, but back into more sort of northerlies there as we're going into the early part of March. In any case, it's just that winter goes on into the beginning of March. Remember, that is a 2-weekly anomaly as well. So for a 2-week anomaly, that is really quite a strong signal, given that very often the 2-week anomaly is a little bit weaker. But that's a properly strong signal that we have there from the JMA for weeks 3 and 4. Right, let's have a look at tropical and mid-latitude view then with the JMA. So the Arctic, North Pole, Scandinavia, Greenland, all of those areas are off the chart now. We can't see them, but we had a look at that view down, so we know what's going on from a northern hemispheric perspective. The British Isles in top right-hand corner of the chart as you are looking at it this time. So a reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly with above average heights, high pressure over and to the east of the country, below average heights, low pressure in the Atlantic, and winds are probably being drawn up from the south. Remember, it's taking us from the 12th through to the 19th of February. Temperature anomaly is actually still cold now. Even though the wind's going more southerly, we're still slightly below average with temperatures, although Ireland is milder than average. It's a little bit transitional, so we start off cold. Of course, we're very cold at the moment. We will see the temperature lifting up later on in the period. Overall, the JMA wants this to still be a rather cold period, though. The precipitation anomaly also looks wetter than average, so above average precipitation, that low pressure comes in off the Atlantic, giving us quite an unsettled week, but also rather chilly, but getting milder as we go along. Then we go through to week 2, which takes a high pressure north and sends it to our north again, pulls winds back in from the east once more. Temperature anomalies are forecast to be colder than average in week 2, taking us from the 19th to 26th of February. We end February on quite a cold note. The precipitation anomaly, as high pressure is back blocking, we go drier than average once again. Another drier than average week coming up there. And then weeks 3 and 4. Let's just check this very quickly. So, no, that's week 1. So I'm going to go back to right, sorry about that, everybody. Weeks 3 and 4 look like this. Pretend that didn't happen. And we have the high pressure then in the North Atlantic going up towards Greenland. We can't see Scandinavia, and that's a very, but no, there's a trough of low pressure digging in through here, and it leaves us probably pulling in the wind from the north, I would have thought. Temperature anomaly is still looking a little bit cold now, but not quite as cold as weeks 1 and 2. Then again, these are 2 weekly periods, so you'd expect the anomaly overall to be a little bit weaker. Generally still cold on average then through the first half of March. And the precipitation anomaly actually goes a little bit above average again, so I'm not quite sure about that. There is a trough low pressure sitting to our northeast, so I'm not sure that would deliver particularly unsettled weather. I would have thought just relatively cold and you know, quite reasonably dryish, I would have thought, with those northerly winds. But anyway, JMA does suggest quite a cold outlook for the next 4 weeks. Let's see how the CFS V2 compares. So again, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period will take from the 12th to the 18th of February. The coming week, again, with the above average heights of blocking to our north-northeast, and below average heights, low pressure in the Atlantic. And we bring in the wind from a west-southwesterly direction. So it looks quite unsettled in the week ahead, and not as cold as it has been as we begin to turn the wind a little bit more Atlantic-based. Week 2 will be the 19th to 25th of February. Still loads of blocking going on, extending down through this western side of Europe and kind of pulling up the winds from a southerly to southeasterly direction. So that could be reasonably dry and perhaps not overly cold there either. Week 3 looks colder. This is the 26th of February to the 4th of March. High pressure then is moving over towards Greenland and Iceland. Low pressure extending down through northwest Europe. Wind is back into the north and the northeast. So that's a colder and potentially very wintry week there coming up as we come to the end of February and go into the beginning of March. And then week 4 is going to be the 5th through to the 11th of February. High pressure blocks around Iceland, but also extends down the western side of Europe. Trough low pressure moving over towards western Russia and northeastern Europe. Still cold, I would have thought, with this. Still bringing winds from a northerly direction. The only difference is that it's a lot drier as the high pressure is ridging down the western side of Europe. This is the Azores high just here, of course, and that will be trying to bring in milder air from the west, but I think generally that's still pretty cold actually due to the high pressure being centered around Iceland and southern Greenland. We would still be bringing the wind from the north to northeast there, I think, through the early part of March. So both these ones are suggesting quite a cold start to March, I think. Temperature anomalies for week 1, which I thought could be a little bit milder, actually still colder than average with CFS. This is the 12th to the 18th of March, still forecasting a colder than average week. Again, I think this could be a little bit on the chilly side, to be honest. I think next week, few days next week, could be rather milder. Week 2 is 19th, 25th of March. That's closer to average, so not as cold in week 2. Week 3 goes back to colder weather again, though. This is the 26th of February to the 4th of March, going colder as those winds go back into the northeast. Most parts of Europe looking really quite cold as well. And then week 4, which is the 5th to the 11th of March, is also rather on the cold side. So a pretty chilly first half to March, if this is right, rather a delayed spring. Precipitation anomalies for week 1 from the 12th to the 18th of February, wetter than average, particularly so to our west. Week 2, precipitation anomaly from the 19th to 25th of March, near normal really, drier than average to our north and east, a little bit wetter than average to our west and south. Week 3, 26th of February to the 4th of March, is rather drier than average, but again, it is a colder week. And then week 4 is the 5th through to the 11th of March. And we're losing a signal, but we're around average for precipitation then. So rather cold weather goes on, really, if JMA Friday is right this week. We are going to get a little bit of moderation, I think, in the next, next week, and maybe for a few days after. But it looks like we've got more cold weather to go before we can start thinking about getting on with spring here. So late February into early March could be a very cold period, with winds getting back into the east and the northeast. And then maybe just staying rather cold, really, going out beyond that. But of course, the further out we go, the weaker the signal will get. But yeah, JMA Friday suggesting, we have not done with the cold weather, although things are going to moderate like next week. Starting this weekend, but particularly into next week, things will moderate and we will get a little bit less cold to milder. JMA Friday does suggest this week that we have not done with the cold weather, and we expect more cold and wintry conditions to come as we come to the end of February and go into March. Just a snapshot of what these two models are showing today. They could look very different next week. I think have been quite consistent though with the JMA Fridays this winter. So I think been pretty consistent with both of these models. But as I say, it's just a snapshot. They might look very different next week, but certainly suggests that winter continues into early March this week. Right, getting back later on, your 10 to 14 day video update, including all upgrade features, and there will be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight with GFS at 18Z. For JMA Friday this week, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.